than I would, but your cantrips are like boss.
Yeah. I've got 2 spell slots at the moment, but when we leveled up, I put a level up into making this cantrip, the Eldritch Blast, a fucking beast of a thing.
Yep.
So it can do 13 damage, and I can cast it twice in a turn if I want to.
Do you think if we just go around killing townsfolk this round, we can like level up?
Possibly.
Or at least find a way out of the town.
Do we get dishonorable kills? Like, is that a thing? We going back to WoW 1.0?
That just generally happens with... That's just generally resolved with a bad juju from the town or whatever. Yeah. Whatever people you piss off by doing it.
The voices in my head told me to.
And, you know, we've already kind of fucked everything in the town. Like, the temple hates us, the people in the stockades hate us.
The people in stockade... What makes you think that? The stockade?
Didn't we, like, dickhole our way and blow up one of the guards?
You blew up some guys, you're under investigation, but they haven't expressed that they're pissed at you. They're a bit annoyed that you blew up some people. But,
They shouldn't have been standing there.
It wasn't deliberate, but yeah.
Do we still have that extra bit of dynamite, by the way? I feel that's crucial.
I do.
Yeah.
I have one.
But yes, Apples, you probably haven't got the best reputation amongst the town.
I don't know, the bar likes me. So, other than that, though, like, unless the Bondi's, you know, actions count against me in the bar.
He must have really gone down the shop to get his beer.
Yeah.
I thought his house was like one room.
We don't even know if it has a floor or not.
Yeah, who knows if there's a floor.
I've still got that spell scroll that I haven't told anyone what it is. But
Yeah.
I think I need to be level 3 because it says it contains a second level spell.
You can attempt to cast it without being the correct level.
It says
the difficulty in doing that.
The DC to cast this spell is 12. Does that mean I've got to roll a 12 or higher to cast it?
Yep.
Is that affected by any modifiers?
No. The way it works, like if you had a 9th level spell, the DC would then be 19. So the higher the spell is, the harder it is to cast. Like it doesn't matter, like, because even if it was a 3rd level spell and you were level 3, it would still be the same DC because it's a spell that you don't know.
Right, okay. Because it says I also bears the words of a single spell written in a mystical cipher. If the spell is on your class's spell list, you can use an action to read the scroll and cast it without having to provide any spell components. Does that mean if it's not on my spell list, I can still cast it? Or it says otherwise the scroll is unintelligible.
Let me read that part. I'm pretty sure anybody who's literate can read it. Because I did a heap of research to find out before I gave it to you.
Okay. Hello?
Welcome back.
Hello.
Did you go to the shop, did you?
I did.
How far away is the bottle though?
Across the road.
Damn.
I have
Well,
3
yes.
bottle shops, like 2 minutes walk.
We're going to head to Bundy's house for D&D.
So, what paragraph are you reading, James?
So it's the 3rd paragraph, or the middle. A spell scroll bears the words of a single spell.
Yeah, so if the spell is on your class's spell list, you can use an action to read the scroll and cast the spell without having to provide any of the spell's components. Otherwise, the scroll is unintelligible.
So to me, that reads that
yeah.
if I can never learn the spell properly, I can never use this spell scroll.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. I did a heap of reading and said that anybody can read it. So,
Well, I mean, if you're happy because you're the DM,
Yeah.
we could just make it that
No,
I just have to meet the DC.
no, yeah, I'm happy for as long as you can read it, because it's a magical scroll, so it appears in your language when you read it. So it's not like
Alright.
a traditional thing. Think like the Marauder's map,
Just-
it just
Yeah.
comes up to you.
Don't read it wrong. I've seen the Evil Dead. Chances are, if you get one word or one syllable wrong, you'll spawn a dragon on us.
Okay. Good thing I can read fuckboy then.
So, Daddy, last time.
Righto. So, last time, you guys were at Liam Gregory's house. So you grouped up and made your way towards the temple of Skadi to further seek clues to Liam's disappearance. You arrived and recognized the priest, or Dodric recognized the priest as a dwarf from the family locket that you found in the mine, and you informed him that you found his partner deceased, which shocked him. But ignoring his grief, the party, ignoring his grief, pressed on with aggressive negotiations and showed him the signet ring which is found on a cultist in the mine. Unfortunately, the priest did not recognize this, but he went inside to fetch one of his healers who he thought might know more. He asked the party to wait outside while he did so. Dodric, however, disregarded his instruction and followed silently inside to ensure the priest's intentions were noble, while stealing the coin from the collection box at the entrance.
That is not what his intentions were. His intentions was loot everything, nothing about looking what the priest was doing.
No, you were going in there to make sure, or to watch what he was doing.
I don't think that's why he went in there. Like, you can
No,
say
oh.
that's not true. He was going to loot the shit out of that.
Look. Stealing was the primary goal, but to keep an eye on the priest, that was the secondary objective there. Now I've lost where I was. And
The
when
one
the
he stole that too.
when the priest returned with his healer, Fiala, Dodric unsheathed his weapons and threatened him to tell him what he knew. This action, however, wasn't taken kindly by the priest, nor did it help when he noticed that Dodric had robbed the collection box, and he ended all dialogue, evicted the party, and slammed the temple doors in their faces. Now, you guys, unsure what to do, and noticing the sun had begun to set, everyone started to make their way to Bardid's house to meet him after dark as he instructed. When you were attacked from the shadows by flying daggers by an unknown assailant. The group forced entry into a nearby house for cover, while Lefner attempted to return fire, but only managed to blow the roof off a house. Inside, you all were attacked by an assassin called Lugson. He was a gnome who could run up walls and on ceilings, and he struck one down with a poison-tipped crossbow bolt. The rest of the group, however, proved too much for Lugson, and Dodric slit his throat in return for his attack on the party, and then he took his boots. You also beheaded the poor gnome and put it in your bag with the tent, and now you're in the house, unsure of what to do next.
So, who wants to go to the farm and who wants to take his head to the bloke that we don't know where his house is?
Uh,
I want to
Why
revive
don't we
yeah.
go to the
Hey?
bloke's house alone?
So yes, you also
Probably shouldn't split.
found a note.
Let's go to the farmer.
Go to the farm.
a bit late. Wait, did we fully search the place for it?
Yeah,
Nah.
good point. Is there any,
It's just
shit that we
someone's
can
house.
steal?
Like, They're
Yeah,
just a
and
normal
they're not
person. Looting from them's bad.
Yeah, but we're down 4 gold. We're gonna fix this.
Yeah, but I've got my whole evil out of the way. Turns out I'm not as good as I thought. Feeling a bit bad right now.
We don't need any more unwanted attention.
Look,
Well,
this is the bedroom, right? We're in the bedroom. I'm in the bedroom. I want to make a perception check to see if there's like anything around that I can steal.
You notice a dresser, a bedside table, the drawer.
I rummage through the bedside table.
You just find a couple of coin, a few copper. Let's say 7 copper, just as loose change
It's a
at the
whiz.
bottom.
That's generous. You should have given him an odd sock.
You also find a Bible and a pair of glasses and just a couple of small odd things.
Got 37 copper now. Yeah,
Um,
it's good.
Now, as far as I remember, Doderick, Lefner, and Juan, you guys are all upstairs, and Forrest is downstairs still watching out the window.
Cool.
Good job.
Hey guys, where'd he go? He's not here. Is he downstairs? Because we don't know. We've just come out of a rest, haven't we? Like, we're just chilling.
How's your health there, one?
Yeah, it's recovered good. 11 out of 15 if I had to put it in fractions.
Oh, yeah. I'm good to go check out the farmer.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
probably
we
worried.
should get out of here before someone comes back and notices the blood everywhere in half a gnome.
Yeah,
Do
as
we take the head though?
you've
Yeah, I'll
got
check
the
the
head.
Definitely leave.
So you guys, Juan, have you added the head of Lugson to your inventory?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
All right.
I think as we
well,
exit the
but before-
house, we should try and do it discreetly and avoid being seen by anybody.
True, and we should probably, maybe because you love this cantrip so much, clean up all the blood and take
I
the body and
refuse.
bury it.
I think someone should come back and realize there's a fucking dead gnome in their house. Because my plan is they'll be alerted, and the person who sent him will be all like, "Oh my god, he's dead," instead of just not knowing. And then later on, when we confront him, we go, "Ugh." Yeah, that's my plan. Or if you guys really want to clean up, like, I could do all the work, but you guys have to scrub as well.
I'm cool
I
leaving the
intimidate
call.
Apples to do all the work.
18.
You want to roll contest?
Just wait, what's my counter to intimidation?
It doesn't count.
You sort of can't do it. I think you roll against wisdom. I believe.
So I got a +1, so it's 19. I got a 19. What you got, Fuzzy?
I got 11, but I actually got a -1 to intimidation. so it's 10.
Means I am not intimidated by you. Fuck off, bitch. Draw my 2 crossbows. Hold them sideways. Gangster style.
Let's go.
Lose
Holy
accuracy.
I'm ready to leave.
All right. So you guys just sort of general chat. You're getting ready to go upstairs. Forrest, can you roll a perception check, please?
Shit.
Someone's about to come in the front door.
8.
8.
Oh, no.
So you have a look out the windows. You don't notice straight away, but there are, right outside the window, there's 2 people still standing on the road, pointing up at the house, trying to figure out what to do about the hole that has suddenly appeared in the person's house.
There's no back door, is there? There's only the one door.
That's correct.
Would I fit climbing up the chimney
Roll a
of the
perception.
fireplace?
Well, the gnome came in through the roof.
Yeah, he came in through a broken window in the roof. Well, not broken, because we only
Ooh.
felt a breeze.
11.
11. So you stick your head in the chimney. No, you will not fit.
How did the
Pretty
gnome
tight
get in?
and small.
Window in the top.
Oh, well, I could get out there with the new slippers, and then I'll throw
And
a tile
surely we can all
across
jump. It's
to
only
distract
one
them.
story
You guys
down.
can get out.
Hey,
that cool?
We got Featherfall. We got a fucking bard with Featherfall. Let's just jump out the
What, you
window.
want me to burn my last spell slot when we could all just jump out of a one-story building?
Hey, it's a
Well, from a
two-story building.
Yeah.
And
Then we jump out the window and just, if we all say we're going to dangle, I'm not burning my last spell slot on that. Fuck you.
How about the halfling use his spider boots, climb out, and then go fetch a hay bale and put it near the house for us to jump down on?
That sounds good. Find something for us to jump down on. Go, Dodrick. Off you go. We'll all
Okay,
hide
well-
near the back window.
I'm gonna go through the roof, out the window,
Yeah.
and probably have a quick look around. Is there a hay bale? Do I see a hay bale?
You roll perception.
Is there a hay bale? There's one right there. No, you can't see it.
Hey,
16.
16. So you just casually walk up the walls and out of the window. You just sort of push it open. You walk out. It looks really funny. You just sort of up the wall, out the window, and back down, just standing horizontal on the wall there, just looking around. It's pretty dark. You sort of struggle to see. You can't see much further than maybe 20 feet, 15
Okay.
feet out towards the back of the house because it's not lit very well. There is a few street lights and such out the front, a few braziers or being lit. That gives off a dim light, but at the back of the house it's pretty dark. You do look straight down, and it does appear to be a bit of a garden bed and a bit of a shrub, but you're sort of unsure of how much that might break somebody's fall.
Probably better off distracting these people so they're not there.
Well,
Sorry.
that could work because you can get outside and walk out on the street, right? And then you could
Correct.
talk, have their back facing the door, and we can go out the door.
Or he'll say
And then
something that
stab them.
offends them and chase him, and then we can get out the door. Without being seen.
Maybe.
Alright, I
How
go with
about-
that.
yeah.
Let's watch him try and actually succeed in an interaction. And we'll just watch from the windows while he tries to do something. Because this will be interesting.
The key is not to intimidate, right?
Oh no, it might work. Just
So
pretend
what?
you're a thug and you're gonna come and rob them or something, and they run away.
Alright,
If
so
you
my
could-
plan is
sorry,
I
I
walk
wanna-
down the side.
Sorry, just before you do your plan, I want to explain one mechanic, and that is falling and fall damage. And essentially, for every 10 feet that you fall, you'll take 1d6 of damage.
Well, damn.
Not risking that, I could die.
Is this a threat?
You're going out there and you're doing your work.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna walk down the side of the house and onto the street into an area where it looks like it's sheltered and I won't be able to be seen from the street.
Okay. You're all stealth.
17.
Don't,
17.
don't fall, little gnome.
You created
I'm
a
a halfling.
distraction. You don't need stealth.
Okay, so you walk down the back of the house and you come out towards the street. There's no fence between the houses, so you're actually able just to walk straight on. But there is a good couple of trees and a couple of shrubs that you're able to hide behind on the street edge on your side of the road. So you can see behind the bushes there, and you can clearly see over the top or through the bushes the two people sort of chatting. You can't sort of hear what they say or what they're saying. It's pretty sort of mumbled. They're talking fairly quietly, but they're pretty close, maybe about 15, 20 feet away.
Okay, while this is going on, I gather the other guys and say, hey, let's get down, ready at the door, looking through the window, staying a bit hidden, just so we can see and wait for our signal.
Yep.
Alright, so you guys make your way
Right.
down to the front door.
So
I'm already at the window.
does it look like I could approach these people from a direction that looks like I came from, say, the tavern instead of from the house behind them?
Yeah, like if you move far enough down the road and started walking towards them on the road, yeah, you could pass it off as that's somewhere where you've come from.
Right.
If I pull up the map, sorry. Um, so, towards the south, there's a cross junction in town, and at that cross, you can go to the town's entrance, or you can head east across the river to head to the tavern, or you can head west along that road to head to the guardhouse. But all three of those locations, would be from the south, and you could pass off you were coming from either of those. If you
Cool.
approach from the south, if you come from the north, you can simply say, "I'm coming from the temple." That's where you were before.
Right. Well, it's been quite a long time. All right. So I'm going to run from the direction of the tavern, and I'm going to do it as like a stagger, as if I'm drunk, and sort of crash into these people.
Can you roll performance?
And then... oh,
They can roll deception. They don't believe he's drunk.
Wait, he also has been drinking like it was an hour or two ago. Just saying.
I got a 6.
So you manage, like, with your sneakiness, you manage yourself down, about 20 meters or so when you get out of line of sight of these two guys chatting on the road, and you jump onto the road, and you think you're doing this fantastic performance of being drunk. Being a halfling, you haven't really been drunk too much before, at least not like.
Actually, I'm an alcoholic.
You're an alcoholic,
Of my
eh?
character.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an addiction, yeah.
Okay. I'll wind that back. I'll take that back. So you're well versed in being drunk. But
I think he's got a gambling addiction as well.
well versed at being drunk, and you try and put on this great performance, but you overemphasize every aspect of being drunk and make it 10 times worse. So you stagger, instead of being a little stagger, you go all the way to the other side of the street. It's everything's highly exaggerated, and these two guys look at you. And the one on the right was sort of facing a little bit towards the south, and he's the first one to catch you. And he motions to his friend, and he sort of points this way, and you see him sort of say something. You don't hear it, but the second guy now turns and looks at you, and they ask, "You all right there, lady? What's wrong?"
Oh, hey, lad. I just came from the tavern.
No,
I wanted to
did you
stagger
now?
in front of them towards the house where the roof's been damaged, so that they have to look in the direction of the house.
Hey,
They're
is
like,
it you
bloody hell, what happened to that house?
So you're saying that to them? He goes, "Oh, we don't know. You're just talking about that. The fellas inside heard quite a loud explosion. They run upstairs and found the roof was missing. They come downstairs and had a look out on the street, but they didn't see anybody. Do you know anything about it?"
Bloody hell. Mate, I've been at the tavern all day. Must be those bloody magic users. Can't trust them. Magic's no good around here.
Can you roll deception, please?
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I
let's
whisper
go.
to the other lads and say, "It doesn't look like it's going well."
10.
10. So your lie would have sold it had it not have been for your terrible performance, and the guys are sort of catching on, and they're starting to get a bit suspicious with you. You can tell by their body language and such. He goes, "Oh, really? The tavern? What were you drinking?"
Say what you're actually drinking, that beer that you stole.
I was drinking bitter
Oh,
black
yeah?
ale.
Yeah, black
My favourite dark stout from Arable.
black ale, your favourite stout from Arable, from
Bitter black
Ripsky's,
ale.
from Ripsky's Tavern. Yeah, you drinking that?
Yeah.
Mate, do you want to tell me what you're really doing? They don't sell that there.
Mate, that's what I was drinking.
No. No, he motions back to his mate and says, "Get a load of this guy, go fetch the guard. There's something fishy to this." And his mate just turns around and he has to walk past you to get towards the guardhouse, but he heads out that way.
Okay, so there's one guy.
Stealth.
No. There's one guy there. The other one's walked off. Is he out of earshot?
Yeah, so you guys from the house, you see this fella And he's on your right as you're looking at the house, and he just starts to walk towards you. But he's doing that. He's not walking like facing the way he's walking. He's sort of keeping an eye on Dodrick as he sort of backpedals. He goes, yeah, I'll go get the guard.
Is he looking towards the house, or are we in peripheral vision?
Hey, no, he's got his back towards the house. The second fella, however, is sort of facing towards. Like if you had to draw a cone of vision, the front door would be just in his line of sight. But the second guy's now got his back, and he's sort of watching Dodrick as he heads down the road and starts to build up a mild jog.
Okay. So he's out of earshot.
Yep.
He's going to get the guards.
Yep.
I want to open the door and cast hideous laughter on the dude that's still there.
All right.
And then
Okay.
I suppose
I choose to stay hidden.
Dude.
Because if we can make him laugh, it's going to last for a minute. That gives us plenty of time to run away. He's got no idea who this drunk, non-drunk halfling is. We can get the fuck out of there before the guard comes back.
All right.
What do you reckon? Guys, you want in?
I think we just all three stealth away and let the halfling
Yeah,
do it.
go for it. Cast the laughter.
Or, that's tempting. But what if you start doing something fishy, like you go up to the window on the other house and start acting like you're going to play with it or something, so he tries to come at you, and then we leg it, and you go, oi, nothing to it, bruh, and leave.
Yeah.
And if it all goes to shit, then we get our murder on, you know.
I don't want to murder these poor townsfolk.
You don't want to, but shit keeps escalating.
I'm going
Maybe
for
I'll
the
just
laugh.
start walking away in the opposite direction to where the guy's walking, towards the guardhouse.
Oh, yeah, because he's going to want to, like, hey, don't go anywhere.
Follow me. So yeah, I'll just start doing that. So I start to just walk in the opposite direction to where the guy was heading towards the guardhouse.
Okay. So as you start to head off in the other direction, clearly your tails have been found out, and you just start legging it towards the north. And the guy who's gone to fetch the guard goes, "Hey, hey!" and he stops. He starts to chase after you, and the second guy that was standing there as well, he starts to motion after you and says, they're both shouting at you to come back here, and we're not done with you. But you've got their attention, and you're beelining it away. And now are you dashing?
Are they past us yet?
Yeah, they've moved away. So at the house that you guys are in, the fellow was on the right, so they've now both head towards the right there. And they're now heading out of town, and they're moving relatively quickly because Dodrick is picking up the pace as they continue to pick up the pace.
I leave the house.
Yeah, we should all leave the house and casually walk in his direction. Like, as if we're leaving, we're going the same direction.
Okay.
What
We're
was
going to
that?
leave the house last.
So you try the
I'd say
door.
head towards the farm.
You guys try the door and it's locked.
I punch through the door.
But they're on the inside. They can't unlock it from the inside.
They can, but the door is locked. You need to unlock it.
I
Unlock the door, guys.
I unlock the door from the inside, tell the guys to get the fuck out, and close the door behind me, being careful to lock it on the way out.
Cool. Right, so you guys just head around behind the house and get out of sight.
No, we're jumping out on the main street, and we're going to walk down in the direction that the Bondi's running, or Dodrick is running.
Yeah.
We're going to go that way and pretend like we weren't in the house, and just walking down the street. We're just leaving. Chill, bro.
Alright, so you're all heading back towards the temple. Dodrick, what are you doing?
No, we're heading out towards the farm.
Oh, okay. So so I thought you were going after Dodrick. So you guys are just moseying past.
I thought he was heading out towards the farm.
No, he's heading up towards the temple. He's running away
He's
from
the
you guys.
Oh, exactly. He'll catch up. Don't worry, guys. He'll be fine.
Alright, so
Is he within 45 feet of us?
not now, no.
Okay. So it's not worth me trying to run after him and maybe, knock out one of the guys from behind or something.
It's fine. I'll stealth or something. We'll run up a
No,
house.
yeah, you can just run up a wall and start roof jumping and shit.
That's all right. Or you can get me other stockades later, whatever.
Yeah, that's an even
So what's
better.
happening, DM, with these guys?
So,
Are they gaining on me?
what are you doing? Like, you were just sort of moving away. Are you
Well,
now trying to move
yeah.
into a dash?
So yeah, the idea was that I was moving away. I'd lure them towards me. The other guys come out. As I've got far enough distance away that they could safely come out, I'm gonna wanna not so much dash, but I wanna maybe do a quick dash and sort of stealth away. So it's like I suddenly disappeared, and they'll be like, "What? Where'd you go?" That's my intention.
Okay. So you start moving up the road. They're starting to move into a dash. You're moving into a dash, but your little legs, you don't quite move as quick as them. So they're starting to gain on you. They're about 30 feet behind you, and so every 6 seconds or so, they gain 5 feet on you. You realize this, and coming up to one of the bends up ahead, and it's not actually well lit, and you dart off to the left and run behind a house. Can you roll a stealth check, please?
You should have said you run up the wall as well.
That'd be so much
9.
cooler.
9.
Oh my god.
So you dart forward. Um, and yeah, you duck off to the right, and they chase up. Sorry, off to the left, around the back of the house. Just you dart over the fence, and the guys behind you, and they catch up to your spot, and they can. You hear them say, "Hey, he went this way." You've broken line of sight, but they still generally know, and they also come up and they jump over the fences as well. What's your next move? Also, they're about to chase you over the fence. They haven't quite got there yet, but you're over the fence.
Right. So what's over the fence now that I've jumped?
So you roll perception. Sorry, I'm getting you to do this
6.
because it's night time and you don't see very well.
Yep.
So you jump over the fence and it's dark. It's black. You can see a few shrubs that, like in your close vicinity. You think you're in somebody's backyard, but you don't know what else is there. You can see you're next to a house, so you've got quite a large 2-story house on your left, and what appears to be quite a large yard that you're in.
Well, if it's that dark, then I can assume the windows aren't lit then from the house.
Yeah, the
right?
house
It's
is
just
dark. Yeah.
Right. And there, can I see a door?
No, not from where you are.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna try and leg it up the house in my slippers.
Okay. What's your dash speed?
It'd be double, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
50 feet per 6.
50 feet. So yeah, you dash and just run straight up the wall. Can I get you to make another stealth check again, please?
17.
17. So your feet are like feathers. You run up the wall. Your tiny size helps because there's just no weight of you as you scale the wall, and not a sound comes from your feet. And you get up on top of the roof, and these two big guys, they come over, they jump over the fence, they trip and fall into the bush. You hear them curse and swear, "Ah shit!" And they get out, and one guy says, "Hey, come here!" And you see him sort of striking something. And this fella's pulled a torch from his waist, and he's lit it and he's held it up and he's having a look. And you look down now and you can see that you're actually in some sort of it's not a square yard. It's square from the house, but towards the right is further than the left, and it sort of gets this sort of what's the shape? So you got a square section and then a triangular section sort of joined.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the
Pyramid?
geometric shape. I can't think of it. No, it's flat. If you imagine a square and a triangle stuck together, that's the shape of your yard. It's
Pentagon?
not a
The
pentagon.
yard is
Pentagon's
flash-shaped.
5. Sort of. I don't know how to describe it apart from that. If you got a square yard, but the back fence, the left-hand side is much closer than the right-hand side. The right-hand side goes a lot deeper. There's a few trees.
So it's not a square.
No, it's not a square. Square and a triangle together makes the whole shape of the yard.
Right. Well,
That's
does it
terrible.
look like on this roof?
Anyway,
I'm
you're
sort
on the
of
roof.
Not visible.
You
from
haven't been
the ground.
You haven't been seen. So you're on the backyard side of the house. So you're on the slope of the roof, and you're not visible from the street lights on the other side. And you're out of line of sight on the top. Up there, you've got quite a decent sized chimney on the left hand side. Now you're facing the yard, sort of watching these two guys fall. No, not like that. Put the flat side up against the bloody triangle, and then you've got it.
I think I'm just gonna. I want to hang out here until
Asshole.
these guys vacate.
Yeah, right. And so the two guys, they got the torch, they're holding it up, they're walking in the yard. You can hear him say, "Where'd he go?" I don't know, I swear he just come in here. And then you hear another voice, like a light sort of flicks on from within the house, and the back door sort of opens, and this third fellow comes in and goes, "Hey, what are you doing in my yard? Get the hell out of here! Shoo! Shoo!" And it's this old dwarf, and he's just sort of shooing him off. Sorry, did you see a fella? And they sort of start asking him, young, almost looks like a kid. Did he come into your house? Did you see him? And this fella goes, "No, you idiot! Get out of my yard! Get!" And he starts hitting them, and he shoos them out, and they begrudgingly leave. And then the dwarf fella returns to his house, and yeah,
Excellent.
you're now on the roof alone.
Does
Have we
it
made
look
it
like
to the
these
front?
guys have left out of sight? Because I'm just going to wait until they're out of sight. I want
Okay.
to know what they're doing.
Yep. Can you roll perception?
9.
9. So you jump up on the roof, but you're hesitant to sort of show yourself on the street light side because there's a considerable amount more light. So you try and watch these two fellas from the back of the house, sort of looking around, and you do sort of see them sort of leave. They start heading back the way that they sort of come, but you're not sure how far they are. You have seen them leave.
All right.
You anticipate they've gone in the direction that they came, but you're unsure.
I'm just going to wait for like 10 minutes, maybe. So I'll just hang for a while so that they're not hovering around, and these other guys can do whatever they're doing.
All right.
We keep walking to the farm.
Cool.
How long does that take?
About 10 minutes or so.
Cool.
It takes to get.
That's like
It takes to get to the gate. When you get to the gate of Berein, there's a couple of towns guard there, and they sort of greet you, and ask how you doing. Sorry, I'll say. You see 3 towns guard in uniform, sword and shield, metal helmet, guarding the exit of town, and one of them closest to you says greetings, and that doesn't do anything more.
Cool. Hey, bro. Keep walking.
I'm gonna, after the 10-minute time, gonna try to follow them towards the farm.
Okay. And as you start to leave the town, there's a third one, and he turns around and goes, hey, I think I know you. He motions at one. He goes, do I recognize you?
Yeah, I'm the bard from the tavern. Probably heard me play a few times. Think I've seen you there, haven't I?
Oh, yeah, you played that song. How's it
Yeah, that
go
one.
again?
The one about the lady with the things. Yeah.
I love that one. That was good. You playing again?
Oh yeah, back next week.
Next week?
Might have a couple of days off, but a bit tired, sore throat, you know.
Good. And he motions to his buddy. He goes, he sings really well. And they're just all sort of to watching you.
Nice. All right, catch you then. And we keep walking. Yep. See that, guys? That's how you do it. To Bondi. Fucking.
I'm useless.
Actually, I
Come on,
probably
you didn't have to roll for that.
Yeah, I probably should have made him roll, but I'll just sort of let it go.
No, it was
It's
legit.
just-
that was like, I
it's just
full
so
fucking
true.
did that. See how quick I did that? No thinking or anything.
Just let me run up roofs, okay?
Alright, so
Let me stealth.
Doderick, how are you getting back to the gate? What's your
Uh,
path?
Let me have a quick look at the map.
He's going to run straight up and down all the houses and take the longest distance.
Berein, okay. So I was heading towards the temple, which is number 2. Oh, yeah, up here. And the farm is...
So just to
Where?
say
What
where
am-
I think you are, as
Yep.
you've been chased up, you see how the main road sort of heads up towards the temple, but the thick part keeps
Yep.
going towards the east, and then it splits into the two.
Heading towards the temple.
So if you drew a
From
line,
which
if
one?
you drew a line between 2 and 3, halfway through that junction there.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So
Cool.
you're
And the
you're on
farm is
that
where?
tall house just there. So the farm is outside the gate, just probably outside, maybe around where the number 3 Liam Gregory's house is. It's not actually pictured on the map, but that's roughly around where he is.
Number 3.
So number 3, where it is actually handwritten onto the map.
That's not near a gate, though. I
No,
was
so you
close
got-
to number 3.
No. Don't look at the numbers on the map. See where I've got the legend,
Yep.
then the bottom left.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bardeed's Farm's outside of town, around where it says number 3, Liam Gregory's house. So the gate, which is where everybody sort of walked through, is where the town's fence meets the road. So that's where they've passed out
In the south.
at the south. Yeah. So the guys have
yeah,
just
yeah,
left
cool.
town, and they're
Yeah,
gonna
that's cool. That makes
make
sense.
a right towards Liam Gregory's. So you've now got to come up with a way to get back to the other guys. Now, where the
And
house
which
exploded,
direction did...
so
Yep.
the 2 small square houses in between 4 and 2, on either side of the road,
Yeah.
the closer to the 4 than the 2, that's where you guys blew up the...
Right.
Sorry, I need to get some drawing tools so I can stream that
No.
and show you.
I think I know what I want to do. So, from in between 2 and 3, I want to go up towards the... I'll take the road up towards the temple, and then the thin path that goes towards the river,
Yep.
I'll take that, and I'll be intending to get off the road and follow the river down to the
Okay.
gate.
Sure. As you head towards the temple, you notice a couple of townspeople. They're sort of walking along the road. Just a couple of lanterns and just musing amongst themselves, a man and woman. Now, when you're on the road, are you in plain sight? Are you sort of...
I'll be trying to sort of stick to the side if I see people, scurry along fences, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Alright, so these 2 people, they're walking on the left, and you left-hand side of the road, and you sort of keep to your left as far as your way as you can. So they're walking on your right, you keep to the left. And you avoid them. They sort of look up and have a look, but they just continue talking amongst their business. You make your way towards the river, and you find the river, and you head south. You do, however, once you get to that rather large-looking building, which was Oswald Gregory's mansion, you do notice there is a fence line that takes it all the way up to the river. You'll have to scale it. It's quite a large fence to get over. And it's just
My
a
slippers
solid sort of
make
stone
that
sort
easy?
of fence. Yeah, it would. Yep. Just saying that you...
Thick stone?
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you just run up the fence, come back down without any sort of effort, and just keep along the river. You get to the other side, and you scale that again, and then as you come across, come down the other side, you pretty much land straight onto the road.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one else about. It seems to be rather a deserted night. And again, you continue along the river without any sort of difficulty, and avoid all gaze, and make it to the gate. To which the grounds guard again sort of notice you, but they notice you sort of coming not from the road.
Oh, God.
And the one that greeted Juan says, "Yeah, you. Where have you been?"
I was down at the river.
"Oh yeah. What are you doing there?
Looking for snails.
For snails.
Yeah, I cook them. They're nice. You ever tried to cook snails? Escargot, mate.
He looks a bit disgusted. Can you roll deception?
This is the
What's
fucking
your
best.
fourth part again?
This is the best.
Deception is plus 4. 13.
13. And the guy, he's just a bit gross thing. Where are you headed?
Bud Eats Farm.
Oh, you go to Bud Eats farm.
Yes, I have business with him. Important business.
And he just sort of stands to the side and says, not much.
It's a weird
Keeps
thing
an eye
to
on you.
say.
Shrug.
We
Continue
got to
walking.
remember that.
And he just sort of lets you go and just keeps an eye on you. So you three,
Now the guards are suspicious of us. Fuck.
you three make
Nah.
it to Buddy's house. Probably a good 15 minutes before Doderick does. You're waiting for him. You're going to go in and
Continue on.
I think he should not be involved in the conversation. Judging by everything we've experienced.
I agree.
Fair enough.
In fact, my next spell I learn will be silence, just to shut him up.
Alright, so you
You
find
guys agree, or?
So you find Bud Eats farm. You get yourself through the front gate, and you can see at the front of his house there's a bit of light coming through the windows, but otherwise it's fairly dark. You walk up to the front door, and you give it a knock. And Buddy, after a minute or so, you can hear some rummaging inside, and the door sort of creaks open, and Buddy sort of peers between the cracking to see, just an eye, and he sort of looks at you and he goes, one, and he opens up the door. He goes, thanks for coming by. Would you like to come
No
in?
problems. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, and he sees you left Aaron Forest as well, and he leaves the door open and expects you to follow.
Hey, buddy, bro.
I suggest you lock the door behind us. There's thieves out in the night.
He wasn't listening.
Get out.
So yeah, we follow him in, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so you follow into Buddy's house. You can see
Do
it's
I hit my head on his door because I'm really tall and he's a dwarf, so it's really small.
Buddy's
door.
not a dwarf. He's a human.
I don't hit my head then.
It's just a standard. Well, you get inside. It's a standard house. It's very open. You can see that there is just a big main area for living, kitchen. There's a off to the right. There's 2 or 3 doors, and they're all sort of closed. The house is pretty long, so the kitchen and living area is very, very long. And on the right, you can see not evenly spaced, but 3 doors that are closed. Several windows sort of line around the side of the house as well, and you can see a fireplace in the middle on the left. Buddy sort of lets you in and sort of gestures towards his couches and his sofas and asks you to sit. Now you also notice once you're inside, it's a lot better lit, and you can see that now that Buddy is now nursing a bruise and a bandaged right arm underneath his shirt. And you can see a small red stain coming through it as well.
Point to his arm and go, hey, look, twins.
And he just looks at you and says, nice. And that's sort of it. So do you guys...
See, Bondi, getting good rapport. This is the first step.
Look, I'm chaotic neutral alignment. I do what I want.
Cool.
Shall we ask, Buddy, how have you sustained your injuries?
And he just says, farming accident.
Bullshit.
The crops
We're
are
guards.
dangerous, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't believe him. I don't think he's telling the full truth there.
Were the guards involved in this farming accident?
Hey, are you asking him that, eh?
Yes, I'm asking.
Yeah. Um,
Covert.
he looks at you and says, "No, no, they weren't. I fell off. I was stacking sacks of grain up rather high, and I fell down. A bit clumsy, but I landed on a small block of wood and it's pierced my right arm."
Would you like me to take a look at that? I can cure wounds.
He goes, no, it's fine. The reason why I wanted to ask you guys here, isn't there a fourth? Is there supposed to be a fourth companion?
He's at the tavern getting drunk. Don't worry
He's
about
got little legs. It'll take him a while to catch up.
you sort of see him, and the humour is sort of lost on him a little bit, and he just sort of smiles a little bit, like ha, but it doesn't make a sound. He goes, I just wanted to thank you for bringing back Sarah. I know I gave you a small gift last time we met when you brought her back, but I really wanted to say thank you properly, and I think my help just getting you out of the stockade, I think we consider ourselves even now.
Oh, almost. We have a bit of a debt you need to pay. Quick, give him the rat's tails.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on, dude. Based on our prior agreement, I've got a large number.
Ah, yes.
Large.
Yes, I have to really thank you for that. I haven't seen any of the big rats around for a couple of days now. So whatever you did must have worked. How many tails have you got? What do I owe you?
I have 6 giant rat tails and 24 small rat tails.
And he goes, oh, geez, that's a lot. And it was 5 gold for the big ones and a gold for the little ones, correct?
I thought it was 10 gold for the big ones.
Big ones? Can you roll persuasion?
With pleasure.
And a gold 50 for the small ones.
No, I'm not taking the chance with that one. Wait, what's my persuasion? So 13.
13. He sort of smiles a bit and goes, no, I'm pretty sure it was 5 gold for the big one.
7 gold it is.
He laughs and goes, you know what? I'll give you 6 for saving Sarah. So
yeah, I want a hug from Sarah.
Worth 1 gold.
So he looks at the tails and he takes them off here. He heads into one of the rooms, sort of opens the door, closes it a little bit but not completely closed, and walks out of sight. After about 15 seconds, after about a minute or so, he emerges back, and he's carrying, if my math is correct, 60 gold pieces.
Yeah, 60 gold pieces.
Yeah, you just you can see a heap of them in your hand. You see him holding a heap of gold pieces in his hand. He puts them into a small sack and hands the sack to you.
Yeah. Pleasure doing rat business with you.
Hey? You would be getting close?
You've only been talking a minute. You don't get to get close for another 9 minutes.
I want to break into his room through the window.
Exactly, that's why you can't get close. So I say, is it okay if I just go in the kitchen? I need to wash this wound. Is the kitchen kind of on the way to that door he kind of left ajar and I think top a glance?
These houses, you got to think like medieval houses. They don't have the big luxurious rooms that open flooring. They just basically have generally 1 or 2 small rooms for a bedroom, maybe a small room for a laundry/bathroom, and then everything else is just generally open. And the kitchen area is quite often mixed in with the lounging sort of area, and that's what the case is with Bardid's house. So up the back left-hand side, you can see a small bench for preparing food. Then you've got the dining area just a little bit closer, which you can see just by a table and some chairs and a couple of plates sitting on the table. And then you've got the lounge area, which you guys are currently standing in, which is just a couple of couches around a fireplace. So
if I were to say I'm going to go to the bathroom thing,
Yep.
It's up the other end.
You
Would
go
I be able to
outside.
proper glance through that door? Or
So the what you presume, so you only know in Bardade's house at the moment, you can only see the kitchen area, the dining area, and the lounging area. You can presume that because there's two of them, they're up to 2 bedrooms in 2 of the 3 doors, and you could reasonably expect that one of those doors would also be a washroom slash laundry or whatnot. So
alright. So hey, buddy, you mind if I go try and wash up this wound here? Have you got a bathroom or something I could quickly go into? It's a bit, sore. I don't want it to get infected.
he looks at you and says, "Don't you have cure wounds?"
Running low on spell slots. It's a shitty situation.
I see you're a bit tired. Um,
Oh yeah, exhausted.
Well, could I, as one final favor, offer you my house for rest tonight?
Oh, that'd be lovely. Make sure you don't let anyone else in. Just keep us safe.
He looks at you puzzled. He goes, no. What about your friend? Surely he'll be back from the tavern. He knows that.
Oh no, he'll be drinking for months. He'll probably pass out in a lake or something. Stupid drunk hobbit.
Don't listen to
Guys.
one. He's delirious from the gangrene.
So,
Yeah, we'll definitely stay. But can I go wash this up? Just yeah.
yeah,
I'll just give it a good scrubbing.
yeah, sure. And he points.
Alright,
to the,
so on the
middle.
way past, can I have a quick glance in the door, just a big as I go past? Do I
Have a
see
look,
anything?
but no, it's fairly dark inside. You've got your dark vision,
Dark vision.
but you know the door's only just slightly ajar, and no, you can't make up anything of note through it. You perhaps think you see a desk, but that's it.
You tell him he can't see around corners.
It's a small step.
Right,
You'd have
so
from your distance,
As
you'd have to get up a lot closer.
so, I obviously walk into a room that isn't the bathroom because he didn't say which one the bathroom was, and oh, this ain't it. So first room on the left will go.
So,
If that's how the
but it sort of
works.
stops you and goes, it's the one in the middle there. That door that you just walked into is Sarah's room, and mine
Fair
is where I was. And he
Cool.
says,
All right, I go in there and I, close the door behind me and turn on a tap. Do they have taps? How's it work?
No. You have to turn on the bucket.
yeah, they generally just have a pail with some water or whatnot. There's no flowing.
Does he have a
water.
medicine cabinet I can rifle through, see what's going on?
No, they're pretty much savages.
I can't see anything else in here. It's just a wash-up
So
room.
you walk in, and yeah, you can see a couple of large buckets full of water. You can see a large trough that's been filled with water. You can see what appears to be a standing bath, and then a chair with a hole in it that has a hole underneath, which you expect is the toilet.
I cast prestidigitation and give it a good clean.
Yep. So you just
And I obviously clean my wound because, copping a poison arrow to the back, And so my shirt obviously looks a bit wet because,
Yep.
And then I come back out because this was a useless endeavor.
I asked Badid, has he heard of any other troubles?
but he sort of pipes up and he sort of he goes interested. He goes, what troubles do you mean?
Or like missing civilians? People are reporting people going missing. Would you know any more information?
Yes, I have heard of somebody going missing, although I can't recall of his name. Can you remember a name? Maybe that might help.
One guy by the name of Gregory.
Gregory. Oh,
Gregory's his surname.
that's Oswald's son. Liam. Yeah, Liam went missing. No, I don't know anything on that. I did hear about some dwarves going missing though. Yeah, near the east side of town. So the west side of town. My apologies. the west side of town. The dwarves used to live out there. I can't remember their family name though.
Was it Dwarfy McDwarfface?
He just stern face. Who? No, that wasn't them.
So that cave that you sent us to clear out the rats, that was full of evil cultists. Yeah.
No, I didn't know anything of the cave on the site.
Yeah, it was a hectic thing. We had to, defeat some evil cultists, save some dwarves. It was a bit more than just rats.
So you sort of regale your stories, and you tell Bardee that everything that you experienced inside the cave. Are you going to tell him everything from start to finish?
Nah, skip over a few boring bits and embellish a few bits.
Right.
I think we need to exaggerate a bit on the glowing stone that blew up the ground.
Exaggerate, make it bigger.
Well, no, I'll make it bigger. Sorry, expand on that.
You want to
We might skim over some parts.
Yeah, you want to pursue
Yeah.
that. Now, as they start to tell, Dodric, you arrive at the house.
Okay.
Welcome.
So, you're outside?
So, I want to get a gauge of where the windows are and what they have a view of outside. And I also want to know if there's any, other buildings around the farm close to the house, like a barn or something.
Yeah, so there does appear to be a barn to the right. It's about 60, not 60 feet. Yeah, actually it would be about 60 feet away. And it's an open barn. You can see that there's a solid roof going up and across. Several pillars holding up the roof, and what appears to be hay and other sorts of crates and wagon. You can make out a wagon in the dim light as well. In terms of the house, there's a fair bit of light coming out of the house, especially on the left-hand side, but that's where everybody currently is. There's a large window on the left of the door. Now you're doing a circle around the house to try and see.
Yeah, I want to sort of get a gauge of where people are in the house. And I want to know where they are. Do they have view over the barn?
Okay, so you have a look in. You can see that most of the curtains are sort of draped shut, but there's enough of a gap to let a decent amount of light coming out, but it's not easily seen in or out. There's several windows down the left-hand side of the house, down past that sort of living kitchen sort of area on that side. On the other side, you can see that there's 3 separate windows, which would be one for each of the rooms. 2 of the bedrooms and 1 for the toilet. At the back, there is no windows. You can see on the left-hand side the fireplace sort of protruding out of the building as well. And there's several small shrubs and a very crude and unkept garden around the outside as well. And it's got a few weeds and such through it, and so, decent sized shrubs. Now, shrubs to you, about your size, but yeah, waist height sort of shrubs.
So do I know that the guys are now inside the kitchen?
So are you going to peer up and have a look through one of the windows?
Yeah, I want to get a gauge of where they are.
All right. Which window are you going to look through?
Well, let's say the one that looked like there was a little bit of light coming out and it was draped.
All right, so the front left. So you make your way after that. Can you get you to roll stealth?
11.
11? Cool. So you have a look through it. You don't feel that anybody's seen you, but you can see that everyone's sort of huddled in sort of like a standing circle in the middle of the dining area. The lounge area, which is closest to you. You quickly see Bardee, and you also see Forrest, Juan, and Lefter, all sort of standing and chatting.
Who currently has eyesight of the window that I'm at?
That would be Lefter.
Hi, Fred.
Can anybody else see? Nobody.
Bardee is on the right, sort of facing in. Lefter is on the far side, facing to you. Juan has his back to you, and Forrest is on the left, facing to the right.
And behind that window, is there visibility of the barn?
You could, from the angle that you're at and where you're seeing everybody, nobody would have visibility towards the barn.
Is there another window in that room where there'd be visibility to the barn?
No.
Fuck it. I want to set the barn on fire.
What? Why? I can't hear you making this decision, but why?
The intention is that I can set the barn on fire, get a big fire going, and cause a distraction to get this farmer out of the house, so that we can go rummaging through the house and find shit. Because I don't trust this guy.
Why not just murder him then? Like,
Why
blow up through the window.
I'd be concerned that he would have a posse, something.
Could I be a tad concerned that our fourth member hasn't joined us yet, and sort of go to the window, just sort of look out the window? Can I percept?
Psychic now?
No, I have vision of him, right? Because his stealth wasn't that good. So I'm gonna beckon him inside.
So you're beckoning me while giving visibility for the others to see what that I'm there?
I'm giving you the wink and the nod in, like just very subtly. Come on, come inside.
Can you make sleight of hand, please?
Ooh, yeah, all right. I'm not even gonna bother looking at the modifier. Yeah, it's a 3.
That's a 3. So, so Lefton notices you in the window, and he gives a big, a big wink and a bit of a come in, and you other guys, you notice Lefton do this, and Bardi sort of says, "Oh, who's outside?"
Yeah, who's outside, Lefner?
It's our little drunk halfling friend. He's got that look in his eye.
He goes, "Oh, very good." And he walks to the door and opens it and has a peer out and tries to find you, Dodrick.
Really? I run up onto the roof.
Remember, you're drunk. You might be able to fall off.
Alright, well,
He's not in the house. Go look for shit.
you run up onto the roof, and he sort of looks out and he peers back over his shoulder and says, "You sure that was Lefner? Sorry, you sure that was your friend, Dodrick, to Lefner?"
That's my secret Dodrick wink. I know it's him.
It could have been someone else. I think you should get your crossbow out and get ready to murder.
And you can see that a new expression of seriousness has hit Bardi's face. And he sort of closes the door and stands very sternly and says, "Was that Dodrick?" And you just see that,
You're the only one who saw him, so you don't know.
Lefner knows.
You put us in a position, Dodrick. I tell you what, man.
Every fucking time.
Every time. I sternly make Buddy feel safe by saying that was definitely him. He's probably playing around with his new toys.
His new toys. And what might that be?
I'm not here.
He's found out how to get very high very quick.
Oh, damn it.
And he sort of looks at you and he opens the door again. He has another look and sort of peeks through the crack. Peeks to the other side, and he walks outside and says, "Dodrick, if that's you, please come down." He's sort of just looking up at the roof, just with what's James. You can't see anything. He's just sort of looking.
You're disappointing, father.
How big is the roof in square meters?
Square meters, it would be maybe 15 to 20 square meters. Fairly smallish.
Oh,
actually,
square
it'd be
feet.
bigger. So I'm
That's
thinking of
1
just
square
that
feet.
room. So square feet. Yeah, you're probably looking at maybe 60 to 70 square feet.
So I can't just illuminate the whole goddamn roof.
No, you wouldn't be able.
Do I need visual for that?
How many chimneys are on this house?
Just the one.
Alright, fine.
I walk outside too, and I
So Doderick says he comes down, so Barty's just sort of looking out, and he just sees Doderick just walk off the roof and then vertically just walk down the side of the building, then onto the floor, just looking defeated. It's like Barty's just sort of looking at, and he says some things to you, Doderick. He starts to speak in what appears to be sort of plain conversation for everybody else, but you pick up on it. Let me.
Like thieves
What?
can't.
Sorry, I probably spoiled that a little bit. Give me a second.
While you're doing this, I cast Prestidigitation and clean the soot off his feet, bringing high attention to these fancy boots and how shiny they now are.
And so you don't get dirt all over Bud 8th floor.
Yeah, can't be doing that. This man's, he's a hard-working farm man who's obviously corrupt as shit.
He's giving us a house for the night.
Are you on Steam, DeBondi?
I can open it up.
Yeah, can you open it up?
You can probably do a private
Yeah, but
PM.
I've got the stream sort of going, so I want to keep that off. So I will have a conversation in Steam. But the conversation, he starts to ask you very basic things like, hey, how you going? Where did you get those boots? They're pretty interesting. He starts to sort of speak to you, and you reply in sort of plain answers and such as well.
We went on a murdering spree.
I betcha his name is... Where's this other note that we got?
I tell him it was a family heirloom.
The boots are a family heirloom. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you in Steam yet? I can't see you.
I had to go get my password for it.
It's
Updating
Luckemana.
user configuration.
That we've
Okay,
gotta go to.
so
Oh yeah, there you are. So if you guys want, I'll have a quick chat to Bondi. If you just want to get a drink or a water, otherwise it's going to be fairly quiet for the next little bit.
Well, you should mute us so we can talk. You should fuck off.
Cool. Hey. So yes, Bardeed is speaking to you in Thieves' Cant, and it's very sort of plain, so to speak. But he starts dropping these sort of words in a very particular order that only you seem to recognise. He starts to ask you where you got those boots, and would you be interested in a special line of work?
well, I tell him it was a family heirloom, and that would depend on the kind of work.
Yep. And he says it's work that's not generally looked well upon for from everybody else.
That sounds like my kind of work. I spent
Okay.
years in the Thieves Guild.
Okay. He says, if you can, meet me here, my place, tomorrow night at midnight. Send word if you cannot make it.
Okay.
And he sort of indicates that to sort of get a message out, he says, please keep this, keep it discreet. And yeah, he doesn't sort of explain how to reach him if you can't sort of make it, but he says, please sort of let me know in a discreet way. But
Okay.
that's sort of it at the moment.
Let him know if I can't arrive.
Yeah. So his place tomorrow night at midnight. Now the time at the moment is roughly around It's probably about 8, 9 o'clock now, 9 p.m. So yeah, cool.
Okay.
Cool. Now the conversation is as awkward as this because it is literally you're trying to speak with clues and be cryptic without trying to give it away. So some conversation elements can't be had. If that makes sense.
At this time.
Sort of. Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah, okay,
You're
it's basic.
you're
Yeah,
speaking.
I get you.
You're speaking in
I
this
get
plain
you, yeah.
conversation, which appears to be to everybody else. You're just
Yeah.
asking about the weather, or asking about
But
your
it
day
would
or stuff.
take too
But
long.
you're having a separate conversation.
Otherwise,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
meet him 12 p.m. tomorrow for a special line of work.
Excellent.
Cool. We'll join the others.
Okay. What up?
Cool. So yeah, after Buddy's speaking with Dodric, he sort of motions back towards you guys and asks you to continue your story now that all of you are here. So, if you'd like to tell me, not Bardeed, me the DM, what parts of the story you want to regale to him, what parts you want to ask more about and dig some information, and what parts you want to avoid. Just so we can go through this part.
So yeah, definitely kind of more on the crystal, more on the cultist, less on the me blowing up a dwarf. Kind of put that in. They blew themselves up like idiots.
And ignore
And
the
the
temple
stupid
completely.
town guard arresting us. Yeah, unfair that.
Right, so you tell a story. You make these very large points about this strange black crystal that you found. It was just sort of glowing white, and how it was sort of creating the giant rats. You also talk about the cultists and finding the crystals as well. And you sort of skim very lightly and very sort of embarrassingly, just a little bit over the escaping part, which you fear that Bardeed has already heard about since he was the one who broke you out of, not broke you out, but got you released from the stockade. Bardeed, as you sort of going on, you tell the whole story, and he says, yes, I've heard some strange things around town from various people. This town does a trade with magical crystals. Crystals that would be imbued with power. Maybe a staff, a mage's staff, or a mage focus, or other sorts of wizard trinkets that can be imbued with magical power. And this town does a trade with that. We're one of the few places in Uridin that has such a large area of these crystals. We keep it fairly low key. We don't want to attract. The town hasn't wanted to attract too much attention to this location. Now, what you may be describing is it sounds like some people have caught on to what type of crystals that we actually deal with here, and they may be seeking to exploit them for their own means. This isn't the first time this has happened, but the town guard has been pretty good about keeping on top of it in the past. But this sounds a little bit more concerning, especially with the rats.
So I noticed you managed to get us out of jail pretty quickly. Got a bit of a rapport with the town guard.
I am respected amongst the town. I've pulled a couple of favors for them, and they have pulled the odd favor for me at times with people who I feel deserve it. You four, I think, were misunderstood with the unfortunate circumstance when escaping from the mine. So I just approached the guard captain and I asked her to set you free.
The farmer has that kind of sway. What kind of favour can you do?
Oh no, an older fella getting towards my, mid 40s. Done a few things for the town in the past. We're talking old history stuff. I don't need to go into that now. But
Can we tell that he's obviously avoiding what he's obviously avoiding?
Can you roll insight, please?
17 plus 2, 19.
19. So you do feel that there is more to the truth, but if there is, he's telling a good lie. Like, he's selling it really well. But you don't feel convinced with what he has said. Is the whole truth.
Any obvious bits that might stand out as not being true?
No obvious bits. He tells, the way he speaks is the way that you feel that he believes it to be true, but you sort of feel that you feel uncomfortable. You feel like there should be more, but he's very convincing.
You guys got anything?
He's not sort of fidgeting or playing with anything?
No, he gives no sort of tick or clue that, that he's lying.
Hey, buddy.
So,
You got any ale?
he sort of smiles and says, in that dresser on the left, there's a couple of bottles of black ale. What do you call it? Earlier before.
Bit of black ale.
No, what were you lying to the townsfolk about? What was the?
Yeah, it was bit of black ale.
Bit of black ale. He points to the cupboard. There's a couple of bottles of bit of black ale there.
The best.
While he's grabbing that, I go, hey, so you seemed a bit edgy before. Things been happening around here?
Edgy? No, things are fine.
And then, when old Godric was playing around with you were a bit, oh shit, gonna murder everyone?
No, I just, I've got to protect myself. I'm out here on my own. I'm outside of the town. Don't really have the town guard's protection out here. Just gotta make sure.
Protection? I thought it was a safe place, except for
it is a safe place, but you can never be too cautious, especially if you've just told me that there's cultists around. I have heard.
Yeah, but that
they are about.
You just told us that it's safe, and you were edgy before we told you that. What's going on, bro?
Can you roll persuasion, please?
16 plus 5, 21.
21. He sort of pauses for a second and he just says, look, every now and then a certain person comes along this way, on the outside of town. I just got to be careful. I was sort of expecting one of those people tonight. He's known to be a little bit violent on times. I just didn't want him to get the wrong feeling if he was to come here and find that I wasn't alone. That's fine. He's not here. It was just your friend. We're fine.
Do you want us to help you deal with him?
No. That's fine. I'm more.
No, don't worry. We're good at dealing with things. And I reveal the gnome's head.
You might know who that is.
He just pulls back and goes, I see you met Lugson.
So, you know Lugson, do you?
I know that he's on the bounty board at the stockade. Yes, I know about him. I've heard that
we were collecting bounties earlier today. We're good at it. Don't worry, we've got your back, mate.
What was the reward on Lugson?
If you can't remember, then you can't remember.
No, I'm asking about Deed.
No? Oh, you're asking Buddy. No.
Yep.
Buddy says, I couldn't say. It's been a little bit since I've been into that stockade. I don't really check the details that well.
I put the head back in the bag, and while doing that, since we're staying here tonight, I take off my clothes and equip the fine blue robe. You know, I'm getting snug.
Just in front of everyone.
Just saying. And, you know, I get off in a corner and I pull out my sketched porno mag and have a peruse of the wares. I'm fairly comfortable now. Yep.
So Buddy's just sort of sitting there in disbelief. But he's starting to figure out the type of crowd that he's invited in, and he was just thankful Sarah was in bed. I didn't have to see it all.
I obviously start resting, so I get like maybe a bonus hour while everyone else talks. Just saying.
Alright, so are you guys going to concede it for the night? Are you going to continue to talk? What are your plans?
Are we going to get more out of Bardet, do you reckon, Lefner?
Well, we have grilled him pretty hard. I feel like we've been trying to get in. I just feel like asking him, what do you do for fun, buddy?
For fun?
Yeah.
Oh, I go out and tend to my farm.
What
Find it rather
what do you actually
refreshing.
have on your farm?
Hey, I just grow produce. I got a pumpkin crop growing out there. Bit of wheat as well at the other side of the farm. It changes as the seasons come. But yeah, pumpkin and wheat is what I have at the moment.
And do you just sell your produce, or do you use it to make stuff?
I trade it with the town, mostly. And the neighbouring towns. So you get a few traders wandering by. I'll trade with them and export it, so you say, to the other towns.
You must meet some very interesting people as you travel around the world, then.
Oh, I don't do any travelling. The traders who come by will do that for me. But you see the odd interesting person? Yes, you do.
Have you heard any strange gossip lately at all? Anything more than we've talked about already?
No, nothing else really. No.
Do you have a horse, Bardet?
No, I don't have any horse.
No cattle?
Nope, no cattle.
So how do you move your produce to town? Do you throw it through a teleporter?
I have a wagon. Oh,
Actually,
walk
just
to town.
out of curiosity, because I'm kind of just breaking immersion a little bit here. Have we mentioned about how when we went to Liam's house, we saw the marking on the ground?
No, you haven't mentioned that.
Okay. Well, I do want to mention it. Hang on, I got to think of how to say it. Now that I've just been talking about his personal life, I want to grill him a bit more. Okay. Well, I do small chit chat for a little bit, and then I get in close to him because the other guys seem a bit disinterested with the small talk, and I say, I'm just curious. We did a bit of investigation at Liam's place, and even though there was no sign of a struggle, we managed to notice some markings on the ground. Have you heard of this being used before?
I gotta say, you didn't really notice the markings as a DM, but you could feel that there was a magical stain on the ground. There was nothing visible there, but you could feel that there was
like
something.
a green light kind of thing?
It was a Marty McFly straight line of teleportation out of there.
It was like a green skid mark on the floor.
I didn't think there was a
we
visible thing.
felt
You could feel that there was something
the
there.
arcana,
You could feel that
and
there
it
was
was, and it took the formation of what we felt was a straight green line.
I didn't think it was green. I just thought it was a straight line.
Okay. Okay. Well, then we felt the arcana presence of a straight line, which indicated that magic was used. Do you know anything about this magic?
He says, no, I don't, but it's very, very interesting. No, I'll let you know if I find more. I might actually go and ask some people, and I might get back to you. That's very curious. You reckon he was taken from his house without actually him leaving the house?
Yes, because the house was locked and there was no sign of struggle. Nothing was stolen. The lockbox under his bed was left perfectly the same way as it was.
Just tell you everything we broke into.
He goes, yes, look, I know I consider us even, but you've piqued my interest. I might have a look and see if I can find out. I'll find some more info from a couple of people I know.
You've been very kind. Thank you for your hospitality.
And he sort of nods and says, okay, now, thank you very much. I'm going to retire. I'll be up fairly early in the morning. I'll see you then. And he walks into his room, closes his
I
door.
start to go to sleep, but I make sure my hand crossbow is right next to me because he did say that there was a crazy bitch coming around tonight. And I've just, it's a tiny crossbow, so I've got it just tucked here, right next to where I'd be. And I'm making sure I've got a good view of that door. Just, yeah. But I'm gonna go sleepy now.
All right. So is everyone just sort of going to find a comfortable spot and doze off for the night?
Have we done a watch cycle?
I was getting to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So are you going to do a watch?
I reckon we should. Like, this guy seems pretty well protected, but are we protected from him? I'm not sure.
Well, being an elf, I can just, because I don't sleep, I just go into a semi-auto I meditate, but I'm sort of loosely conscious.
Yeah.
And I only need to do a short rest to get a key point, so...
Doing a long rest will regain any hit die if you spent any.
I'm not wounded.
Okay.
I avoided all the knives being thrown in the backs.
Alright, so you're doing a short rest and then keeping watch for everybody again?
Yep.
Forest? Okay. Alright, so does anybody want to take the first watch while Forrest does his short?
I'm happy to.
Okay. Cool.
One
well-
can't do it, he's in a masturbation coma.
Pretty much, guys. I'll lend you the tent magazine and rooms one day. Just saying, I'm setting up a fun zone.
Alright, so the first couple of hours goes by, nothing much. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary, you just hear one snoring. Dodrick lets off a little snort every now and then. Then Forrest finishes his meditation and signals that you can now go to sleep left there, and he now takes watch. While one is sleeping, one, can you make a dexterity save?
Say.
No, a dexterity check, rather. Save check, wrong word.
15.
15. Cool. So nothing much happens.
Was I going to come down with a fucking flu or something? Don't
No.
get my sleep.
So
Oh wait, I have a +4 for save. Should I have used that instead?
So
It's a check.
it's dexterity check. So you roll your dexterity plus your modifier for dexterity. So
Oh,
it was
I
just
could
something.
have,
It was just
+4.
something fun that I was gonna do, but you passed it. So good on you. Forrest, can you do? It's now been 5 hours. Can you do a perception check, please?
7.
7. So you sort of sit there. You don't really notice anything too different as the night goes on. The morning arises. You start to notice the sunlight beginning to creep through the windows, and after a couple of hours later, you start to notice that you start to see that the first light has really taken a hold, and Bardede has now emerged from his bedroom, and he starts preparing a pretty basic sort of bread and toast sort of breakfast with like a margarine, or not a margarine but a butter and such like that. And he starts his fire and he cooks the toast in a banged up metal pan, and then starts preparing breakfast for everybody.
Bro.
Dodrick Lefner and One, you guys wake to the smell of toast, and have a pretty basic breakfast. And Sarah gets up and she
I
sees that you
cast
guys are.
prestidigitation on Dodrick's food because he's so bad and make it taste bad.
Just gonna say, give him the burnt piece of toast.
Not cool, guys.
Hey, not cool. The only reason I have burnt spell slots was because of you.
Why? What did I do?
You regain all your spell slots. So everybody,
Yeah,
you've all had the effects of a full rest. So please regain all your spell slots, regain your health. Yeah. You have a feed.
Did you say level up because of all this good effort? What? Okay.
Bad luck.
The
You're
night's
look,
not over yet.
You're not far from it. But yeah. So, Dodrick prepares breakfast. He sort of says his hellos to everybody in the morning. Sarah also gets up and she's all excited because there's all these people in the house and she's running up, giving Lefner a cuddle.
Yeah, man.
And then she sits down and has some breakfast. So, after
But
you
level
guys,
up, we don't need to kill shit. We just need to rest lots.
I entertain Sarah by casting prestidigitation and making sparks appear and lots of cool little things and just entertain her.
so she
you know?
does. She's like, yeah, do it again. And she's asking. For all these
And then I go,
tricks.
watch this, and I cast prestidigitation on Dodrick's butt and make it look like I pooed myself.
And she's just not excited
Oh,
anymore. She's like,
stinky.
oh, that's yuck.
I get sick of this and I walk out of the house. I just sit in front of the house on the step and sulk.
Doesn't even climb the roof. What an amateur.
No.
By the way, I also
Weirdest
take my
noise,
stuff
squelch,
and get
squelch,
changed.
squelch.
Alright, so
Yeah.
Barty sees that what you're doing. He says no. He points to the bathroom this time. You go do it in there. Don't need to see that again.
No, as in I get changed back into normal clothes out of
Yeah.
my fun robe.
Yeah, that's what he
Tuck
he
away
sees
my
that.
secret
He
mag.
sees that and he says, go get changed in the bathroom.
Alright, I sit on the throne for a bit because I know it's well clean. I cleaned it last night and yeah, just do my thing.
Alright,
I asked
so
Bardeen, has the ravens come back from the dark web yet?
he just looks at you puzzled.
Huh?
He's just blank face and just shakes.
What's other news?
So what's the plan?
So we've got to go meet our good friends. Oh, buddy, do you know where give me a sec. Oh, scrolled too far. I lost it. Where's the note with the manor?
Yeah, so the loot can matter.
Yeah, that. Do you know where the Lucan manor is?
He sort of peeks, goes, yes, I know that house. It is on the very west of town. It's a large, sort of bent house, L-shaped house on the very west of town. It's sort of behind everything. Has a small path up to its door. Quite a large sort of, bit of a mansion. Very, very wealthy family. He says, "Well, what's your interest with the Lucas?"
Oh, we just have a small lead. Do you know the people? What are they like?
It's just a couple of an elderly human family. There's they're both still about. I don't know their first names, but there's a couple of elderly ones, and the sort of son still lives at the house as well. He would be about in his mid-20s, I think.
A young lad then, eh? Yeah. How'd they come into their money? That sounds like you've described an expensive mansion there.
Oh, they're an old family. They've been around for a bit. They've made a small fortune in trading some of the iron and metal ore that comes out of the town. They've done a bit of work with Thoradin, the blacksmith.
Nothing to do with the crystals? No?
No, they don't have too much to
Separate
do
to
with the
that.
crystals. No.
Not looking to break into that market, are they? Like,
Oh, they
stabbing
might be.
another family in the back?
They may be. I don't know. I haven't heard about them for a little while. They sort of keep to themselves on the side of town.
Okay,
The old guy doesn't get
that's
out
cool.
of the town.
I get up and start walking out. Preparing all my stuff, going to the door. Yep. Hey guys, I think we should head up. Don't want to overstay our welcome.
Yep, get up before the whatever other no-gooders get up to.
Well, I thank Bardier again and remind him of the spell.
Just sort of nods.
Also, as we're leaving, I yell out, "If someone tells you about a blown up roof, it wasn't us."
And just sort of like he's still his expression doesn't change much. He just sort of smiles a little bit and says, "Yes, thank you for everything you've done for Sarah. Thank you for what you've done at my farm. I'll be in touch."
Thanks for the gold.
Yeah, he sort of waits for Forrest to sort of trail after you and Juan, and then sort of closes the door behind you all.
Is Dodrick still there? Or where'd you get out?
He left when
He
you
left.
soiled his pants.
Oh, yeah. You just sulked outside the whole time, you pussy.
That's
Come
right.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that we're out of sight, I cast Prestidigitation and kind of scrub it away. There's still a skid mark there. He knows it.
Oh, jeez. Good on you.
Cool. Are we going to head to the manor or nothing else to do, is there? Or not? Or do we want to go back to the temple and throw a head at it and say, "Can you heal this?"
I think we need to level up and learn some confusion spells and say we're not the guys you saw yesterday before we do that. Head to the
And
manor.
we kind of screwed the temple over, didn't we? Didn't we, Dodrick?
Fuck the temple.
We
They're a
didn't
bunch of
get to
abusers.
investigate.
They rape children. All sorts of shit. It's no good.
I just want to steal the knockers.
Love some knockers. Oh, they could go with my tent and my robe and my mag. Alright, I suggest we all head to the manor and just kind of plod our way there, just casually, like we're just going into town for the day,
Yep.
I've concealed my weapons. I don't want to look threatening at all. I've got a tent on my back.
Cool.
Yeah, we all good with this?
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, Darty, throw something at us. Otherwise, we're just going to stroll on through.
And try not to step in pig shit on the way.
I'm actually tempted to leave it there for this session. If you're okay with that.
Not going to let us get up to the manor?
Oh,
I want to kill someone.
Remember, we've got 3 weeks until we get to play again.
And maybe longer, because isn't Jonah and
Oh,
yourself
yeah, we've got potentially
In the Hongo.
like 6 weeks, is it?
yeah. All right. So you guys, you get up to the gate. You meet a new set of guards. There's just 2 of them there today, and then they look and just grunt at you as they let you walk into the town. And you make your way towards the Luca Manor. It takes you about 30 or 40 minutes to walk around town and to get to there. You get up to the door and it's built a little bit differently to the rest of the buildings in town, where most of the other sort of buildings are built with a bit of a combination of stones, just sort of placed with a very crude mortar with a wooden frame. This one's a little bit more pristine. It's a lot more wooden sort of vertical beams, which are building the lining of the house. The house is 2-story, all the way up to the top. And as you get around to the house, you notice quite a large sort of red door, and the house is actually painted red as well. You see some stone, like a very neat stone sort of fortification at the bottom, like the slab, but the house is sort of built on. And there's a sort of your tiled grey roof on the top.
Any chimneys?
Yes, next to the left of the front door, you can see what appears to be a chimney protruding and making its way all the way up the house, and also on the right, so on the bend of the L, so the front door's in the center, on the bend of the L there's another chimney as well. So if you got the L, the front door, you actually walk around the house and you're coming up into the center of the L. So the house is,
So
Decided.
I sneak into their house while you guys talk to them at the front door.
Don't fuck it for us again.
Look, these guys sent a killer after us. How well do you think this is going to
Yeah,
go?
but we don't know if it's the old people or the son yet. We don't know why.
You're right.
We don't know how
Don't
they're
talk-
involved.
I'll just go in and backstab them.
Alright, we can kill the whole family. I'm good with that. Alright. So I knock on the door.
Alright.
You didn't even let me get on the roof, man.
Well, I assume you're doing it. You said you're doing it.
I've scurried up the roof,
Okay. Now, as you scurry up,
and
you
I'm
actually...
watching.
Sorry, I forgot to point out. On the roof, so on the left-hand side of the L, there's actually a balcony to the second floor. So, yeah, if you wanted to, but yeah, you're all the way up on top of the roof. You knock on the door, and you don't get an answer.
I knock again.
Wait
I
another
yell
couple.
down, louder!
You wait another
Can
couple.
I
of
knock
minutes.
louder than one?
You can go and have another go. You all start knocking on the door and beating on it. You don't get an answer straight away. You do, however, hear a bit of a sound come from inside. Sort of like a scraping sound and maybe a bit of scurrying or something. But no one comes to the door.
It's the rats. We need more money.
I knock again.
So, I could try and lockpick the door, or I could try and sneak in alone. I think lockpicking might be safer, but then they know we're there if it's people.
Well, is the door locked? Did we try and open it?
I try and open the door while I'm knocking.
You do try and open it, and it does appear to be locked.
Do you want me to
I'm
lockpick it or
knocking,
sneak in?
Yeah, I don't want to say that your history is good at going solo, but I think you should.
Well,
Like, because we can't actually get to you to save you this time, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was going to suggest lockpick the door from inside.
So the chimney that ran up next to the door, that appears to go the entire 2 stories of the house.
Yes.
Yes.
Both chimneys go the 2
Right.
stories.
Right. And there's the one that's far
Check to
away.
see if there's
the one
smoke
that's near the
first.
door. So I might expect that the first
Yeah, really
chimney would
surprised.
out near the front door, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah. The one
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Well, I want to go to the other one that's up the other side of the house.
Yep.
And then try and go down the chimney, so long as it's not smoke coming out, and have a look around inside and see what I see.
Yeah, so you do get up to the top of the chimney, and yeah, the fire is lit. There is a very faint sort of smoke and a decent amount of heat sort of coming out of the chimney as well.
Okay. I go back to the other chimney and have a look in and see if the fire is lit.
It is also lit. Sorry, I should be doing a better job of describing the atmosphere, like what you're feeling and what you're smelling.
Could you
The
not attempt
day-
to put the fire out with some fluids?
Well, there's also the balcony.
There's also the balcony, but the the day, like you're on a mountainous town, so the climate is generally fairly crisp and fairly cool, even with the sun out. At the moment, it is actually quite a chilly day, probably around 2 to 3 degrees at the moment, so it's pretty cold out. Yeah, but it's clear at the
It's
moment.
down
Today
that
today is
chimney.
clear. There's only a couple of clouds sort of scattered around, but mostly blue skies.
So I want to go around the balcony window
Mhm.
and look in to see if I can see anyone's there before I try to break in.
Okay, so you jump on the balcony, and the balcony it's sort of rectangular in shape. Has a very large sort of arched door that leads into the house from the balcony. But on the balcony edges, there are two very long beams that are used for sort of sitting and watching over the balcony. At each of the corners, there's some potted plants from very, very large, sort of, very, almost small trees growing out of these potted plants. And in the center as well, there's a stone, like a stone garden. It's sort of raised, but then has some plants and such sort of drooping and falling down the sides. So you can try the balcony door, and if you do, you can see that it's locked with a very simple lock.
Okay. Locked. And I can't see inside from here, can I? It's just a wooden door.
Correct. It's a very
I'll try
large
and
wooden
unlock
door,
the door.
so it would usually get. It looks like it would get used, like it would open up, and then you could open up that whole area.
I feel like you should knock.
They haven't
Like
answered
we're
I'm not
obvious.
gonna-
They obviously know who we are. So if they see us, they're gonna know why we're there because we're not
They don't
dead.
know we've killed the gnome.
Yeah, but if
They
we're
might
there,
not be
then
expecting
the
us to come
gnome.
in that way.
Unless Bardate's told them.
Yeah, so they know about us. They know we've got a sneaky rogue that's pretty bad. If you knock, that'll like catch them off guard. They'll be like, "Oh shit, they're confident and obviously they're alive." I think we should play the intimidation game and get our murder on.
You seriously want me to
Oh.
knock on the balcony door?
Well, it's gonna be better than whatever you've done so far. Come
What do you
on.
guys think?
Pretend to be a travel salesman.
Okay.
Or actually, do we still have the head of the other gnome?
Yeah,
I definitely do. I'm not relinquishing it. I am keeping it.
Could
No
you
one
throw
else
it
is
up
to
to Roderick and he can wear its face and pretend to be him?
I'm gonna try and lockpick the door. Is that cool?
Should I just go around, cast prestidigitation, and knock, knock, knock?
you can try lock.
While he's doing that, I knock again. I just keep insistently knocking because I want someone to come to the front door. So
Even
does
if
that
it's
count
just
as
a
he gets
distraction.
advantage on his unlock? Yeah? We're distracting the front door, going knock, knock, knock constantly,
Alright, so
and they're nervous watching me.
You're gonna lockpick the door, Roderick?
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so can I get you to roll your lockpicking skill, please?
14.
14. So you're able to flick the latch open incredibly easy, just almost with a card just sliding up from just sending the latch to the side. As you make your way in,
I didn't say I was going in.
oh well, as you're opening the door, you're just unlocking it, leaving it unlocked.
I then knock on the door.
You then knock on the door. So as you knock on the door, what actually happens is the bottom
Really
door,
loudly.
the
Make
bottom
him roll a
door
strength
opens,
check.
and you see this very skinny. His eye sockets are very. Sorry, his eyes are very deep into his eye sockets. He almost looks very hollow and malnourished as he sort of opens the door and he answers. And he goes, "What do you want?" And yeah.
So you said bottom door is in our
bottom
one?
door,
Or
yeah, the
up
one
top?
that you were opening, not Dodrick's door.
Alright.
Have
I
you
cast
heard of-
vicious mockery and say, "You motherfucker!" Sending people at us. So that's vicious mockery.
All right, roll spell.
He has to do a 13 wisdom save.
All right.
Wait, so we definitely know this is the guy that sent the dude to kill us, right?
No.
Nope.
You don't.
I'm gonna kill his whole family.
So he actually passes the save, and he goes. He's sort of starting. He's sort of hesitant as he waits for the spell effect. And it doesn't happen. He goes, "Go away!" And he just sort of slams the door again, and he's hit a latch. To begin to lock.
So is he human?
Yeah,
Is he a dwarf?
he's human. He's very tall. He's malnourished. He's wearing very sort of just traditional commoner's clothes, but they're dirty.
Should have kept the rat tail. Could have fed him. I knock again for good measure.
Off the ground, would I be?
You would be 12 to 15 feet off the ground.
Because I actually have a rope of 50 feet that I could pass down to allow others to climb up.
Yep.
If we wanted to get in.
Which we could have used at the first house. Fucking hell. The one where
Fuck yeah.
you were creating distraction and ran off.
That was fun.
True. If you were... No, we couldn't. I was on the roof. You couldn't get through the chimney.
Yeah, but you
Maybe
went
we could
out
do a
through
hole
the
in the-
window.
True. You could have opened a window and got out that way. Anyway, if you guys want to come up on the balcony, that's where we could all get in.
Yes. Throw down
Oh,
the
wait.
rope
So
and climb up.
before we do that, I check the door and see if the guy locked it behind him.
Yeah, you check the door, and it's open.
Cool. I open the door.
Cool. So as you open the door, you actually see the back of the fellow who answered it, and he spins around. He's very surprised. He's sort of, you know, he sort of says, "Oh, I locked that. How are you in?" And, you know, clearly he hasn't. But as you open the door and you just peer in, what are you doing? Are you entering the house?
So with my left hand, I've opened the door, and with my right hand, I've got one of my hand crossbows at the ready. But I'm looking in, expecting to see something. But essentially, what's happening is I cast Vicious Mockery again, and I go, "You stupid motherfucker! Who said you could walk away?" Because remember, I'm in a fit of rage about the murder. That's why I took a hit.
What's the DC?
13.
13 fails. So what happens?
Alright, so if the target can hear you, it need not understand you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage and have disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Can you roll?
I think that technically puts us in
Does
combat.
that mean we're all in combat trying to kill this sucker?
Not straight away. No, that's up to me. I can say whether it's a
2.
combat or not. 2. Okay. Cool. So you cast your vicious mockery, and you see the guy. He's just sort of, you know, bringing his hands up to his head and sort of clawing at his head. He's sort of shaking, and he stops. He just pauses for a second. He goes, "Help me! Help!" And then 2 other people sort of emerge from the doors on the right into the room, and they enter the room.
What do they look like?
Hey? They are
They-
also human, about the same build. One of them's wearing a black, sort of long robe with a black hood, but it's not pulled over his head. The other one is
Is it
wearing
a-
very much the similar attire, just common clothes that look like they haven't been washed for a little bit.
They don't look like cultist robes?
The black one, yeah, the black one, although it's not exactly what you've seen, it does look. There's similar colours and similar style to what you've seen before.
Alright, I raise my crossbow, and I'm like, you guys, everyone, hands up. We've got you surrounded. And I kind of hope that I said that loud enough that someone upstairs can make a loud noise. We've come to question you about certain things.
And then,
I open the door very loudly and go inside and then attempt to stealth somewhere.
also, there's this loud bang up on top, and the cultist sort of looks up. and he sort of.
Oh,
He's
so
sort of-
he is a cultist.
Ah, well, the person who looks like the cultist, the black one. He sort of plays it, and he motions to the other two just stop. He goes, "We don't mean any trouble. Well, why don't you come in?"
No, we're good standing here, and I keep waving the crossbow around. So who was it? Who did it?
Oh shit, it's gonna be good.
I don't understand what you're talking about. What do you mean?
Don't
Who
talk
was it? Who
stupid.
did it?
One of you know who did it. Don't make us take you all in.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I suggest you put that away before things get really bad.
You gonna do it?
Who did the magic?
Do you guys want me to do it? Because I'll do
Yeah,
it.
do it. Do it.
Come on. Other two?
Move ahead,
want-
come on.
alright. That's 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Decide, just do it.
I point my crossbow at the head of the old guy and pull the trigger.
Can you roll attack roll, please?
I meant pull the gnome's head out and throw it at him.
That would have been so much better.
Oh, can I do that
Nah,
instead?
nope.
Fuck! That's such a good idea.
You better roll
Um,
one.
Active items.
Oh, that's what you were
crossbow.
going for.
Oh, I
Like,
was. I should have.
What are you gonna do? Throw the head.
Oh, I didn't think of it. Where do I see my plus on the weapons?
It should be just equipped on the sheet up the top.
Yeah, it doesn't say it's got a plus. This is bullshit.
Should say-
So I got an 11 to hit on the old man.
So-
Remembering his back is to me, just saying.
Hey, no, they've all turned
Unless
around.
he's
They're
turned around.
facing. Yeah, they've turned around and
Yes.
facing you. Everyone's focused on you because you've been waving the crossbow, getting their attention. So you fire the crossbow, but you miss. It just sort of whizzes past, sort of catches the hair as it goes by.
Alright, that was a
Just
warning
right.
shot. Next one won't miss. And I subtly reload the crossbow, but with one of the 3 poisonous ones that I have.
So
I still
as
don't
you
have
say that,
or know what they
the
have.
leader,
You can't take 2 actions.
the one in the robe, sort of says,
He hasn't
"You're
said we're
right.
in combat yet.
There won't be a next time. You won't be standing to shoot it again." And he shouts out the words "Trust me," and then that's it. I'll stop it there.
Trust me. Yeah.
Trust me.
That sounds like give
Now,
me a head. You
What are
do
your languages?
that. Awesome. And
Can you tell me what your
boy.
languages are? You can tell that by going to character details under your description, and it'll tell you what your languages are.
Common and halfling.
Elvish.
Infernal, Common, Elvish, and Celestial.
Jeez.
I've got Draconic, Common, and Elvish.
Okay, so one, you actually
Looks like Elvish should now be common.
you hear the words in Draconic, and it means protect me.
Oh. Who sheltered that? Who?
That was the leader of the cultist. Oh, that cultist group. There was the 2 in the common clothes and 1 in the robes. The one in the robes is the one who shouted it.
Okay, and the robes are familiar.
The robes look familiar. You expect that they're part of
They're the same cultists.
Yep.
Nice. Alright.
Alright, so is that where we're finishing?
I cast Stone Wall.
What's that for?
A souvenir I bought from China on the Great Wall.
Oh,
That's cool.
I can't believe you didn't throw the gnome head at them.
Oh, someone should have reminded me. I was just going to shoot him. God, you should all know me by now. I forget important things. Like, I'll be honest, I had been planning that for like weeks. Like, as soon as I had that head, that was the plan. Forgot. Last moment.
Oh well.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, this will be fun. I'll destroy.
So
Got
does that mean we
plans.
get to level up now?
Hey, look, you're not far away. I've actually been looking at the experience that you've earned. just by killing monsters and then tallying it up of what the monster is supposed to be awarded. But since you've leveled up to level 2, you've only killed 2 things. And that's the giant spiders, and then...
Yeah, but everyone's played Neverwinter. They know that doing quests and talking gets you
nah.
XP. No, it gets you
And
lots. I've
lockpicking.
leveled up off doing that, and I think
Lockpicking
we've
is that.
like solved like 4 quests.
We killed giant rats, we killed swarms
You've
of
actually-
rats, we killed giant spiders,
you solved one
and
quest.
we killed cultists.
You killed 2, but you've only turned in 1 quest, and that was the rats. Since then, you've got yourself out of prison. You have found
Oh,
clues
brilliant.
to somebody's disappearance. You haven't solved it, but you've found clues. You've insulted
hang
a
on.
priest, and you've talked to Bardid, and now you're following up on the lead from the assassin.
We
I
killed a
don't
high level
agree.
gnome.
I'd argue that we've completed 2 quests. We returned the girl and then killed
Yeah,
her.
yeah. No, I mean since you leveled up to level 2, you've done 1 quest.
See?
What about area exploration XP? You know, we explored all these houses.
New area, 2 XP. New house, 2 XP.
Ah,
What about failing a shit ton of rolls XP?
We're up there.
Yeah, he should get like scar
What I
tissue
should-
in
what I
the
should
next 10
award-
rounds.
Is XP every time you drastically fuck up an interaction with an NPC. That should be XP reward. And Dodrick would just be like level 17 by now.
That's like, hey, we must be pretty rich right now. I've got 89 gold pieces.
I've
you
got
carry
nine.
well, though.
I have 42.
I have 15.
You guys, I swear.
You've had the opportunity
to.
you've had opportunities to go and spend that gold too. There are other
Oh,
locations on the map.
I just like killing halflings to get their fancy boots.
You should go back to the blacksmith and buy some armor.
I thought you liked being unarmed though.
Oh, maybe some gauntlets or something.
Maybe
A
some,
bigger staff.
but yeah.
Yeah, cool. Good job, team.
Good team job.
Cool. Now, the good news for you guys is I have 2 17-hour flights. One there, one on the way back. So I'll probably be working on this a fair bit, and I'll also be reading a few of the books that I haven't finished reading as well.
Don't lie to me. You're gonna be
And
playing
taking
Mario
the
Tennis
Adventure
the whole time.
Zone.
Hey,
So are we gonna have Thursday night, or are you leaving before then, Daddy?
I'm leaving Wednesday. So this session now was your Thursday session. Just trying to squeeze
Yep.
it in before I got away. So hopefully I'll have the sessions planned out a bit more. I've been really busy, so today I really only got an hour's prep in before the session, and last week was also about half an hour to an hour. So
I don't know, you had 2 weeks there.
nah, busy at work. Been crazy.
Cool. So, yeah, cool.